entire world is being really smart.
Welcome to Smart is Sexy, the podcast where we discuss self-development, love, business, spirituality, and becoming a smarter, sexier human. I am your host, Kelsi.
And I'm Celeste. Welcome to our show, y'all. If you haven't yet, hit subscribe, leave us a review, and send to a friend. Today, we are discussing when do we take the high road and when do we clap back to the haters.
Oh, and Celeste she's been known to clap back.
I have been known to clap back, but
just at really funny times and at really funny people.
It's true. Like whenever it's like a serious matter, I kind of take the high road.
Yeah.
But if it's like some social media, I'm like on there typing back and everyone's like, stop responding. And I'm like just going for it. But we're going to get into that before that, me riled up.
You've been getting riled. Wow, it usually comes at the end. Now it's coming at the beginning.
This one really ruffles my feathers.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Before we get into that, let's start with Good News Minute. What is your Good News Minute this week?
Well, you guys, I mean, it's crazy how fast time is flying by, but we are wrapping up this year. I am excited because we have recently, been working on expanding into Salt Lake City with Viper. That's like a huge thing. Like that's going to be a really top priority is expansion for 2023. Like really just like prepping for new business, and we can't announce it right now, like what it is, but we are launching and coming out with like a lot of new things. So yeah. I'm really hyped.
I'm really excited too. It's such an interesting place to be as a business owner because it's like, you like need to keep doing what you're already doing because you have an existing business, but you also need to pivot and scale into doing new things and new territory. Yeah. And it's just
we're also like going into recession, not going into recession. Like what will happen? Will we go bankrupt? We just don't know.
Will there be World War III? TBD.
We have no idea. So like honestly, the possibilities are endless. So it's really an exciting time to be with Viper.
The possibilities are endless.
Yeah. So what is your Good News Minute?
My Good News Minute is I am the reincarnate of Marie Kondo.
She would be offended.
100% she'd be offended. So I decided to Marie Kondo my room. So for anyone who's unfamiliar with Marie Kondo, she has like a book and a show on Netflix. I was wondering if we had
the book in here.
TBD. But she has a book and a show on Netflix, and she's like an organizer. So she basically like you go through your stuff and you hold each item up and you ask yourself, does this item bring me joy? And if it doesn't bring you joy, you throw it away. And if it does bring you joy, you keep it. And this is like how you clear your clutter, get rid of things, out with the old, in with the new. So I decided to do this in my room. I was going to Marie Kondo. I've really just turned her into a verb. Like I'm going to Marie Kondo.
My Botox is making it so I can't really make like that many facial expressions with my mouth, but wow.
Yeah, I turned Marie Kondo into a verb. I was Marie Kondoing. Although she is a noun because she is a person, but for sake of this conversation. So anyways, I took everything out of all my drawers because I was like, this is great.
I witnessed it.
Yeah, I'm going to do this right away. And then
it sat there for a few days.
And then it just sat on the floor for days.
But you were halfway there.
I was halfway because, the first half is taking everything out. So now that everything's on the floor, I'm halfway done because I just have to put it back. And so, yeah, I've just been going through everything and screaming at my clothes. Does this bring me joy?
Every now and then I do hear her from the other room scream, do you bring me joy? and then there's silence after that because whatever she's yelling at isn't exactly speaking back to her. So I'm thinking it's happening in her head.
Yeah. But I got rid of some stuff.
Some
stuff. I mean, I want to be a minimalist.
You are the furthest thing from a minimalist.
You think so?
Yes.
Okay.
Like I feel like I'm not even a minimalist. But like I have way less shit than you do.
I'm kind of a hoarder, but like I'm not like a hoarder with like a serious hoarder.
No, your things aren't stacked up in corners.
No. I'm a hoarder in the sense where it's like I just buy things because I'm like, oh, I probably need this. And then I just have it.
You are the queen of like, I'm going to do research on something. Like you have an ailment or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then you're like, or you need your hair to be longer. Or you like want to have longer eyelashes. Like you will research it.
Yeah.
And then you'll buy all the things that you found in your research.
Yeah.
You'll use them for a week. And then you tend to just be like, this is a lot of work.
I just have so many like beauty products.
Oh my gosh, it's like a spa. Listen, going into your bathroom was so fun. It is a full-blown spa in there. I love it. I'm like, this is so interesting. What do you use this for? Oh, wait, what is this? And then sometimes I'll like make a notes in my phone and I'm like, well, I kind of think I want that too. Like you have just so many exciting things.
I have so many things. The best is when you ask me what something is and I go, I don't know. Sometimes I just buy things because they look cool, you know, and then I have so many beauty products.
You do. Yeah. But it's really fun. Like I love going into your bathroom and being like, and then when you're doing your makeup for the day and you're like, then you sometimes be like the beauty blogger for me and you like put your hand up, you show me what you've got. It's really fun.
Yeah.
I do enjoy it.
I really do want to be a minimalist one day.
Yeah.
I'm going to work towards that.
Okay. We can
what
all
are we talking
strive.
about today? Oh, we're talking about haters. Okay. Guys,
Haters, they're gonna hate.
Listen, haters are gonna hate. So I pride myself on not having any beef with anybody because I am not here for the drama. I'm not here for the chaos. You feel me? But some people like to have beef with us.
Yeah. So lately there have been a lot of like really shady people in our lives and a lot of people who we thought were our friends kind of come out to like, we hear some things. We're like, wow, you apparently are not super happy for like us and our success in life. And that kind of sucks. Cause like when I see people thriving, I'm like, good for you. Like, I really hope you're crushing it. Even people I don't know, I'm like, wow, I've watched your come up over the years. Good for you. I'm really happy for you. So what was the saying you said earlier?
Hating bitches ain't happy. And happy bitches ain't hating. Okay. There's a few people who need to hear that.
That one.
That's the saying.
Yeah.
But it's so true. Like people, like when I hear things, you know, especially people who used to be good friends with us, who as we have become more successful, are, you know, spreading rumors really just about our company or people who just try to get in our way. It's really work related. It's not really anything personal, but I do think like
I do think it's personal though. I actually think on a personal level with themselves, there's something that is reflecting in their life that they're like, that's why they have to hate on us. Cause like we may not have gone to dinner with them and said anything rude, but they're hating on us because of work, but it's because of their personal feelings.
And it's personal. And I think like the only time that you're going to like hate on somebody else is when you're jealous. Like just even think about from my own perspective, I could think about if I've ever like put somebody down or said something or judged somebody, it's like that person has something that you want in some way because they're triggering a reaction from you. But it's one thing when you're just going throughout your day and it's like you make a comment and you keep it pushing, whatever. It's another thing when you go out of your way to actually spread rumors or talk negatively about someone. I just think it's really mean, honestly.
Yeah. And I think something that we've done from the jump with like in our professional career is that you and I have always stayed in our lane and like we may watch other people doing to just be like, because we have to have knowledge of what's going on around us, but we've just kind of always done like our own thing. I'm like, we don't need to like put other people down so we feel better about ourselves. And I know that like when I have maybe said something negative about another person, I then stop and I'm like, well, Kelsi, you're jealous. You're jealous of their success. You're jealous that you're not there yet. So that's your own personal problem. You need to work on yourself.
And that's the thing, like self-awareness for the win.
Yeah.
Because it's like, ask yourself why you're triggered, because I really do think that it's just mean, honestly, and it's not cool. And I think that something that I've noticed personally is there's been, you know, the few times that I've been in a situation like this, it's been from another woman. And it's been from a woman most times who claims this like women empowerment, women for each other, like, bullshit. That's part of the reason I don't even believe that narrative anymore, because it's like, yeah, you guys say that, but then how quick are you to talk shit about another woman or put another woman down or anything like that, or make judgments or gossip about her or whatever. And so, yeah, I think it's like, it is an interesting place to be on the receiving end, though, for example, with us, because when we receive news like this, like so-and-so did, say this about you, things like that, the question becomes, do we take the high road and keep it pushing and ignore it, or do we clap back?
Yeah. And what is the balance of standing up for yourself or just ignoring it and not adding fuel to the fire and just being like, whatever, you have to live your life. And realistically, at the end of the day, you have to sit in your own karma and your own world.
Well, that's true. And I do think that is a really important point, because nobody, you don't spread malicious information or malicious gossip or talk negatively about other people and then just go have a good day. Like, if you're going out of your way to be mean about somebody else or ruin a job opportunity for somebody else or spread rumors, whatever, you're probably not like the world's happiest person.
No, and bad things are happening throughout your day, or like, chronic unhealthy lives.
No, it's true. It is true, because
I don't want to wish illness upon anybody.
But it's not, I don't think it's wishing illness. I think it's, if you are saying those things about other people, that is, you're living, because the words you speak become the house you live in. So if you're walking around saying anything negative, it doesn't matter who you're saying it about. It's still negative energy that you're putting out, that you're physically sitting in, that every time you say mean things about somebody else, every time you say anything negative, your body, your cells, you hear it. Like, our bodies are so intelligent. Our minds are so intelligent. Like, this is the energy that you put out. And then what you put out literally becomes who you are. So now the things that you say are now your character. It's now your energy. It's now all of that. You're not winning. You know what I mean? If you're constantly walking around doing this, making enemies, making shit up, all of that, spreading rumors, you're not winning.
And whatever you put out, you get back. So
of course, because that's how it works. We live in a feedback loop. Like, whatever we put out, we get back. So
what goes up must come down.
Yeah, for every action, there's a reaction.
We have been on a roll with these sayings lately. So something that, like, my mom kind of, like, I wanted to, like, break this up into two different parts, because, like, there is a balance of, like, sticking up for yourself and then also just, like, walking away from petty shit.
Yeah.
And my mom, especially in high school, whenever there was drama with girls or people were saying things about me, because, like, as you have drama when you grow up, like, that's just like a normal thing.
Yeah.
But my mom always used to say, walk away from it.
Yeah.
Because the more you feed it, the more it just grows and it creates this, like, huge brush fire.
Yeah.
And obviously you want to stick up for yourself at times, but a lot of times it's just not necessary. And it just, you can just walk away from the situation. 9 times out of 10, it will go away.
Yeah.
So I wanted to, like, break this up into two parts, ignore it and keep it pushing. I think that most times within our professional career, when I've heard things or people are kind of, like, being snarky or rude about us, I'm like, we then dig deeper, we get better, and our payback is our success.
I agree with that. And that's, that's the one I like too, because I think if you do, engage in arguing with somebody or drama or anything, you only have a finite amount of energy. So you're either putting your energy towards that fight or you're putting it towards your own personal success.
Yeah.
And that could be anything. That could be if you just went through a breakup. You're either putting it towards fighting with your ex, or you're putting it towards, you're getting your body back and getting your hobbies back. Like, you only have a finite amount. So wherever you direct it is, like, what you get out of it.
Yeah.
And I think the hardest thing to remember is that, like, at the end of the day, we're like in our bubble, like our field. And so even, for example, when that happened, when I heard that somebody had, spread a rumor about us, and this is someone who's done it before, even though it sucked for me to hear and I, like, wanted to go back and say something to that person.
Same. I called our lawyer and asked what we were going to do. But you and I stopped. We, like, took a minute. We talked about both sides of ignoring it and keep it pushing, or clapping back.
Right.
And we weighed out pros and cons. We talked about it. We let our like little fire kind of like go off, and then we're like, okay, never mind. You know what? We're gonna put all of our energy into the route of
our own success. Yeah, and I do think that is a good way to handle it, because I think like there is a part when you do hear news like that, you're like, first of all, I'm pissed. But second of all, you're like, I'm a little hurt, you know, especially if it was somebody that you used to be friends with. Like in our case, it was. So I think there's a lot of feelings at one time. And I think one thing that really did help me in that situation was I took it and I was like, fine, then I'm going to use this as my motivation, because you know what? I did need some extra motivation today, you know, and then I spun it for myself, and I was like, instead of me coming up with what to say to you, what email to send you, what text to send you, I'm not going to say anything. And instead, I'm going to make sure that I'm so successful that you do have to talk about me for the rest of your life, you know? And I think just taking that energy.
Yes. I said that to Mans. I was like, I'm going to become so successful that this woman cannot wake up a single day in her life without hearing the name Viper somewhere in the world.
Mood.
That was my response to her indirectly. And I
retweet.
I really do feel the most in my power and the most secure when I ignore it and I channel all of that energy into, well, then we're just going to work harder and become a bigger deal.
100%. And I think, and that is the thing. I'm like, oh, you want to talk about us? Okay, great. Prepare to talk about us for the rest of your life, because we will continue to be successful, and you can just watch every move that we make and sit there, you know, because you're so busy focused on us. And I think that is a perspective that you have to take. People are always going to hate. They're always going to find something, but that's a projection and a reflection of who they are.
And honestly, this can go into any area of your life with drama, with boys, with girls. Like there is a time and a place to respond to something. But I feel like more times than not, we respond too quickly and we respond unnecessarily.
I agree. We do all respond too quickly. And I think you have to remember that when you do get a text message or something, you know, freaks you out and you want to respond, you do have to give it a minute, because that's your body is in an emotional response. It's in like a fight or flight.
Yes.
Because you're viewing something as an attack on you, and naturally, just by way of history, when we're about to be attacked, we either fight or flight.
Yes.
So I do think it's important to take a second and be like, okay, let me relax, because you can always respond later, but you can't ever take back a response.
Yes. So that actually moves into the opposite side of this is to clap back.
Yeah.
And you guys, I'm using clap back as in like just a phrase. Like I don't mean you need to be aggressive with it, but I know that when I need to respond to something, I know I need to cool off first. I need to give myself time, because I hate an emotional response to something, and I hate when I emotionally respond to something, because I don't get my point across. I'm not constructive.
Yeah.
I don't verbally like explain the way that I'm feeling the right way. Like I just don't. I say things I don't mean. I'm way too frustrated. I'm pissed off. Like you have to take a moment.
Yeah.
Sometimes I even make notes of things I want to say.
No, it's good to make notes, and also it's good to be self-aware of like what an emotional response is, because I'll always know like, oh, that was just me being a little emotional.
Yes. Which we all do. We all have an emotional response off the bat.
Of course. And it's easy, you know, because we feel like we're being attacked. The best thing to do, and this also really keeps you in your power, because in a situation, if somebody else is attacking you, let's say you're in a fight or somebody spreads a rumor, anything about you, and you don't respond, or you respond very maturely and not emotionally, it really does make the other person be like, damn, I was a little emotional on that one.
Well, it takes away the heat of what they've done.
Yes.
Because they're like, oh, that actually didn't affect you the way I thought it was going to. And now I need to kind of like rethink what I'm doing.
And there are people who genuinely just want a response. Actually, I have these two people. I don't know them super well, but by way of a friend that was telling me a story, they were breaking up, and the woman just kept going lower. She kept going deeper, and like, you know, being more offensive, more abrasive, more aggressive. And it was just very clear. She just wanted the other person to react. Like she just wanted them to be on her level, because I think sometimes in arguments, if you spit out, if you're super emotional and the other person isn't, you start to feel a little stupid. And then you want them to be emotional because you're like, wait, why are you like, I'm cussing you out. You know what I mean? So I think sometimes you have to remember that too. Sometimes they just want a reaction because they don't want to feel alone in how immature they're being.
Yeah.
And when you don't give them one, or you respond very emotionally and very cohesively, I think it's really like, oh shit.
Yeah, and I think too, like when you are going to respond, you need to think about like what are you trying to accomplish? What is the outcome that you are looking for? If you're not going to get the outcome that you want, then just don't say anything.
Yeah.
Then just walk from it and take that energy and put it into somewhere else, because it's just,
you're right.
Yeah. I really feel like that anytime I need to respond to something that I'm frustrated, this sounds so dorky, but like there's been so many times that I'll go through and I'll like make points that I want to make on a note, and I kind of just like figure out my thoughts to be like, okay, how is this going to be the most constructive? How is this going to get my point across? And then what are you going to take away from what I just said?
No, that's a good point. It's good to be self-aware, you know, because I feel like
Just don't.
It's an important trait that I don't know that we all really have. But no, I totally agree. I think it's like you asking yourself, what are you trying to accomplish, is a really good one.
And I'm just going to like leave this little tidbit. The tit for tat, you don't always have to have the last word. And not always need to have the last word means that comes from a lot of growth.
I agree with that. True. Sometimes you just gotta leave it. It's hard. You know, I feel like the time people want to respond the most is if it's like someone they're dating.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that's like when you just get like people's feelings get hurt so fast.
So much. And it's like, you guys, at the end of the day, STFU.
Say less.
Say less.
Honestly, rule of thumb, say less. You can always say more later.
Yeah.
But just say less, because what's going to happen is you're going to give it 24 hours and you're going to be like, thank God I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
You will always feel better.
Or you're going to think, I know exactly what I want to say now. It's concise and to the point.
Yeah, I agree. True.
That's how I feel.
True.
All right. That's all I have.
Okay, great. Round of applause.
That was my clap.
Ooh, what's your sexy before we finish?
Okay, so my sexy right now is Alex Cooper from Call Her Daddy.
Fire.
I feel like she is a smartest sexy brand ambassador right now because she's very, very hot. But watching her evolve over the last couple of years, I will say I wasn't a huge fan of the show like in the beginning days. It was just not for me. But I feel like she's really evolved. Her brand has evolved, and she educates herself so much on topics and really talks about really important issues. And she gets people like on the show. She has like specialists on all the time to talk about trauma, being an introvert versus an extrovert, and what it's like to date. Like she just talks about really great topics, and I'm like, you're a cis BA.
Yeah, you are a cis BA, whether you know it or not.
Whether people want to be a cis BA, it's like when I was talking about Hermione Granger, cis BA. Like there are girls that I look at that I'm like, yeah, you've got the cis BA thing down.
Yeah, no, that's true. You're right.
What's yours?
I wasn't prepared, so I'm trying to think of one right now.
Awkward.
I don't know. I thought I had one. I thought it was written on there, but it's not.
Anything?
Right now.
Do you want to say the holidays?
No.
Okay.
What am I really into right now? I don't know. I'm trying to keep it PG-13, you know, or PG.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say, actually, you should. PG-13 in 2022 is a little bit different. Okay, so we just know that, like, some X-rated shit is what Celeste Sexy is, huh?
Well, I'm just trying to think, like, you know, right now, and I'm just like,
Oh. NPM.
Shit, why can I not think of anything?
You know what, you guys, how about this? You can just use your imagination on what Celeste Sexy is. That's all I got.
Okay.
Nothing?
Maybe like a hot shower, because it's been really cold.
So lame. How about this? How about you love a good self-care shower?
Yeah.
That's your sexy.
Yeah.
Okay,
Solo shower, duo shower.
Okay, anyways, X-rated things are Celeste sexy. We have to move on because we might have children listening to this. This is insane.
You guys, thank you so much for tuning in. It's been a pleasure.
Please rate, review, subscribe, send to your friends, or don't send to children on this last one because whoa. You guys go subscribe on YouTube. It's like the biggest thing, and I'm so excited right now about our YouTube, so go subscribe.
Yeah, you can find us on Instagram at smartestsexy, and we'll be back next week. Thanks, y'all. Bye.